In anesthesia, we're the guy that stands between heaven and earth.
Our patients often come to us during some of the most anxious and terrifying moments of their lives.
You have to do what's best for that patient. And that's part of the learning and the teaching that we do here. And we want all our residents to understand that. There's more than pushing the medication. You've got to be a human being.
It was a cold December morning. Our patient was at a construction site on the 8th floor. He was actually functioning as a safety inspector, and he had the unfortunate accident to have a fall, and he landed on a piece of rebar, and this rebar was uncapped. So that led to the fact that it was penetrating trauma rather than blood trauma. They had to come up with a plan to transport him to the hospital safely. As the patient entered the OR, we did our initial trauma survey, and we recognized that this was not going to be a routine case and seconds were going to matter.
When the doors swung open, I saw multiple firefighters carrying a person, and I saw this large, long rod. And at that point, I'm waiting to make eye contact with the patient. And when I made eye contact with him, I could see he was awake and he was bright-eyed. He looked at me. I said, "Hello, sir, I'm Dr. Wessner. I'm your trauma surgeon, and I'm going to get you through this." And he said, "Thank you, doctor. God bless you. Please help me." And it was sort of at that moment, I sort of fell in love with Tommy and just had so much respect for him. He was able to communicate to me that he's awake, he wants to live, but he knows he needs someone to buy in and get him through it.
So the way that the bar was in Tom, we couldn't lay him on his back. So we had to intubate him on the side, which I've never done before. But Dr. Markley and Dr. Dresden were there, and they walked me through it. I ended up intubating him.
In this situation, we are being set up for failure, and it's a lot of coming up with plan A, B, C, and D, and being in constant communication with the rest of the anesthesia team, nursing, the surgeons, that everybody is ready and prepared to help before we start, and we're on the same page about how we're going to go through this.
Dr. Serta had sort of the ideal position for him, which had the left side of the chest up. I had to do my X-flap sort of on the side, like at a 30-degree angle, but I did do a midline incision and was able to get a hold of the hilum of the spleen and also inspect for other injuries while we tried to get the rebar out. When Dr. Serta opened the chest and we saw that the rebar went between his pericardium and the phrenic nerve, we realized this was, a miracle case. Focusing on the multidisciplinary aspect of the specialty is key. Having the relationship with the anesthesiologist and the ability to communicate the story and the need clearly is a key maneuver for a trauma surgeon.
And he was a very lucky man. We didn't do magic. If you look at the pictures and you saw where that rebar went, how does it go on top of the heart and underneath the phrenic nerve? Tell me, how does that happen? If there's not a God saying it's not your time, Tom.
Dr. Dresden, I remember, was talking to Tom more about like, okay, buddy, we're going to be here. We're going to stay here. We're here for 24 hours. We're here overnight. However long it takes for this surgery to happen, like we're here and we're not going anywhere. For Tom, that being the last thing he hears before he goes to sleep, that was an important thing.
There's one moment in the case that I to this day think about. I happened to pass the waiting area, which at this hour normally is more or less deserted. And I saw the room completely filled. Come to find out later, that was all of Tom's friends, family, loved ones. It was such an incredible showing of support. And as I walked back in the room, it kind of really hit me that this is not just a case, but this is a human who has so many people that care about him and that are depending on him.
You go into the trauma specialty for cases like this. When you're able to get that patient out of the hospital and back to their family, that's why you do. That's why you do this job.
I remember him coming back a week later or 2 weeks later and, thanking everybody. And Tom now has his family, has his life. We were able to handle whatever was going to happen there that day. We had everything planned. I think we learned a lot. St. Joe's, Napa, they give us a staff. They give us people here. There's no hospital around here. There's no hospital around here who has the staff, the amount of people that we have. I'm glad that, doing this for 40 years, I'm still emotional, and it still hits me. 40 years of this.
This is a case that always kind of sticks with me just because of who Tommy is. And he deserved this. He deserved to get through this and to live his life.
While in that dire situation, the determination, skill, and bravery that was shown at every stage was the ultimate leap of faith that helped save me. Recovering has many difficulties and stages. Although I struggle, I reflect and recollect the visits, the messages, the tenderness, kindness of the different staff at St. Joseph's. Capturing how forever thankful I feel in words is difficult, so I endeavor to capture it in silent prayer for every one of you, that you'll be uniquely blessed and with the good Lord alongside of you at all times.